Yo, what's good, everybody? And thank you for tuning in to another Tyler Perry Sisters review. This is season 5, episode 5, entitled It's All About Who You Know. Now, I'm on my lunch break, but I'm going to try to give y'all a good review, a good upbeat review, because season 5 is just not it for me. So, for me not to bash the episode every review, you know how people say, help me help you. But in my case, is help me help me. So the only way I can do that and the only way I can make this, to me, enjoyable and fun for myself is to make it more comical. But it's going to be some gems in here. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be some gems, but I'm just going to have a good time with it. So if this is your first time coming to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning family member, you already know what it is. And to everyone who's in Florida or is in the path of this storm, Nicole, which I am, I just hope you don't go without power or you face any type of destruction, because we're just getting over the previous storm. So our prayers and positive vibes are with you. So I will not be going in chronological order. We just gonna do what it do. But we gonna start with Fatima and Andy. So Fatima informs Andy that Zac is going to talk to Karen. And Andy reassures her that Zac is so in love with her. She has nothing to worry about. And I'm just sick of it. So I'm like, when Andy becomes your voice of reason for your relationship, when Andy is the one who begins to reassure you about love, it's time to run. It's time to run. And so we saw in this episode, Fatima and Andy have this conversation every episode. How many times does Andy have to, oh, but he loves you, girl. He's so in love with you. The way he looks at you. Oh, I'm like, Tyler, stop it. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. We understand that Fatima and Zac are together. We do not need to be reminded every episode how much he loves her. It's team too much. It's team too much. But anyway, so we get to, before we get to that, Fatima tells Andy that she was also invited, and they both agree that she should not attend. I actually was like, I would love for Fatima to go just to see, but I'm not a big fan of this whole get together anyway, but we'll deal with that, a little later. Gary and Robin, baby. Okay. Anyway, so Gary tells Robin that he knows that he's had sex with Andy, and that he needs to respect the boundaries. And I'm like, what boundaries, Gary? There are no boundaries within you and Andy's situation. You guys get together, y'all have sex, you do something that is very disgusting, you do something that is stalkerish or abusive, y'all break up, y'all have sex again. It's just round and round. Round and round in circles, which is the way I feel about every storyline on this show. But I was like, all I could think about was that song, Woman to Woman. It's like Gary and Robin, y'all having a woman to woman conversation. It was hilarious to me. Absolutely hilarious. So Robin tells Gary that a ring represents boundaries. You a black ass lie. I said, what? I said, Robin, let's stop that, because Andy had a ring on when she first met you. And for those of us who remember when Robin first popped up on the scene, Robin was trying to have sex from the very moment he met Andy. He was pushing up on her hard. There was no subtlety about him. You knew exactly what he wanted and who he wanted from the very beginning. There were no boundaries. So I'm not even sure. Robin just makes me think of a certain type of man who esteems himself higher than he should because he has an education, or because he's in a certain economical stance or point or something like that. I don't like his vibe. I've never liked Robin. I have stated that he was an asshole from the very first time I saw him. I never liked him because I'm like, I know people like you. I know men like you. I know what you're about, and we clearly see what he is about. So Gary tells him that, the ring will be going back on. Gary is delusional. Andy is delusional. But before we get to Andy, Robin tells Gary that it's best that he does not threaten him, because Gary kind of threw a little subtle threat up in there, and I don't blame him. I actually am here for Robin, you know what I'm saying, making that stance, because Tyler has certain cast on this show, certain characters on this show who walk around like they're damn near invincible, like nothing can or will happen to them. And I just don't understand where Gary is getting so much of this boldness from. That's what got me. But then we see a little later, you know, what he is planning to do with Hayden. Let me get that away with first, because I don't really care about this storyline. So Gary and Hayden are working together to bring down Robin, because they don't want him the head of the law firm. And it's just dumb. It's just dumb. All of this for Andy. Hayden talks about how he wants to get back with Fatima as if he has a chance. Now, the thing that gets me with Hayden, when we were first introduced to him, Hayden was not a villain. Hayden actually went out of his way to help Andy when it came to Gary. And now it's just like, you know, and it goes back to the way that Tyler write these people. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how did he turn so fast? Like, it doesn't even make sense. Like, I can see if Fatima was giving him the time of day, but after their first sexual encounter, she no longer showed any interest and hasn't shown any interest. So the fact that Hayden is so strongly about ruining Zac, or it doesn't make sense to me. Like, not saying that men don't, because I know men can be catty and emotional, as we're going to see with Robin, but to go to this extreme when it's all this free, coochie out there, like you doing this for one person, I don't understand that. My brain cannot compute that as being like you're gonna go all out for this one person. It just doesn't make sense. Andy and Robin. So Andy takes her happy ass to Robin's office. Baby, the reading that was given to Andy Barnes. Now, unlike a lot of people, I did not relish in it. However, Andy needed to be knocked down a peg or two. So Robin was just an asshole for what he said to this woman. I mean, I don't know no other way to put it. I know that there was a huge division about this. A lot of people was like, yeah, Robin, tell her. A lot of people was like, you know, she didn't deserve that. I'm not gonna say she didn't deserve that, but I wasn't haranguing Robin either. So let's really dive into this. So I will say that Andy is a user. I've always stated that, even with, you know, for those who stand Fatima and Andy's friendship, and I use friendship very loosely, because let's not forget how Andy used to treat Fatima. She treated Fatima like she was the dirt on the bottom of her damn shoe. Let's not forget that. Because she's pulled a couple strings for Zac and Fatima, not all of a sudden they're best friends. I don't rock with that. Andy is using Fatima for whatever she needs to use her for at that specific time. Like, I don't look at Fatima and Andy as friends. I look at Fatima and Andy is that Andy is just, to me, it's in her nature to use people to her advantage. And so when she comes in, the first thing she talks about is a favor from Robin. And Robin is like, you know, first it was Fatima, then it was Zac, now it's someone else. Like, what happened? So she proceeds to tell him, you know, she has a friend who's in jail, basically who was falsely accused of a crime. Robin was not here for. You could tell Robin was not in the least bit interested in helping Andy at all. Then we get to, you know, I pegged you wrong. I had you as a certain type of woman who, you know, basically like the certain caliber of man. And, you know, I got an email about, you know, you having sex with the janitor here. And I said, wait a minute. So this is classism? Now, let's get one thing straight. People can say what they want to about Andy. Andy's not my, you know, I love all the sisters. Let me say that. I love all the sisters, but at times they all get on my nerves with the things that they do. Now, with Andy, Andy isn't a good friend. Andy is a user. And to me, she uses people to her advantage. Now, Robin, on the other hand, I'm like, what does it matter who Andy has had sex with? Because Andy is not committed to anybody. She's not committed to Robin. She's not committed to Gary. So in all actuality, Andy can have sex with whomever she wants to have sex with. She doesn't owe anybody anything. Just protect yourself, sis. And obviously, it wasn't that going on. Because Robin was like, I need to know your sexual history. You know, basically, are you good? You clean? You got something? I was like, well, damn. How dare you? Because if I remember correctly, you had a random woman in there. What's her status? And so Robin, I'm sorry, I'm not going to say the whole thing, but Robin act like a punk ass fill in the blank because your feelings hurt. What are you like? I don't even really know what he's mad about. I know he's not mad about Gary because Gary was there when Robin popped up on the scene. He knew about Gary the whole time. He knows that Andy has feelings for Gary. There's a situation there. But now that you found out about her having sex with a janitor who worked there, now it's the issue. But you over the whole damn law firm and you're having sex with a subordinate and you have no issue with that. Robin, I'm just going to say man at this point because it's coming from a male character. Like, this is what happens when your feelings are hurt. Not all of a sudden Andy's not good enough when it comes to her job. Not all of a sudden it was a mess. It was a mistake. But before all of that, you were esteeming her for being a great lawyer. Now all of a sudden, because you find out she had sex with a specific type of individual, now she's beneath you. Basically, he's like, I wish I would have found out more about you. But I'm like, Robin, miss me with that. Miss me with that. You're a bastard. You knew that Andy had a reputation before you got there, I'm sure. Because you looked through her profile. I'm sure you talked to other people. You knew. Word got around the same way. I cannot think of Morris. The same way Morris knew about Andy. You wear certain clothes. You come to work looking skimpy. Robin knew as well, so I'm not letting him get off on that. But I said, baby, he read Andy for filth. I said, well, damn, he read old girl for filth. And then I'm like, Andy, I understand. Yes, sir. I will get right on that, sir. I said, Andy. Okay. But then Andy goes in her office and she cries. She's crying to Fatima. As if Fatima gonna do something. I says, yeah, Fatima ain't big, bad, bold now. She ain't finna skip her ass into Robin's office and tell him anything. Why? Because Fatima's not stupid. She's not about to lose her job over Andy. Then she puts in there with Sabrina. Sabrina's in jail. You ain't crying. You ain't shedding one tear. I was like, you know how your parents used to beat you or yell at you or something? They're like, shut them tears up. That's what I wanted to say. If you don't stop that crying, what are you crying for, Andy? What are you crying for? And you, not one of them tears was for Sabrina. They were for you because your feelings was hurt. And and that's what she get because you skipping around here like you got you got your boss in your back pocket because you was having sex with them. But it goes to show sex, and for a lot of people out there who think they sitting on the best thing, like they stuff is gold, it gets old. And it gets old real quick. And Robin proved that. Like from this point on, we're strictly professional. Our relationship is strictly professional. And the next time you want to come into my office, I suggest you make an appointment. I said, damn, she can't even come in without it being on the books. God dog, Andy. but you see how quick people fall out of favor. That thing now, I said, my God, I didn't know whether to laugh, clap. I ain't gonna lie, that probably was the most exciting part of this episode for me. Even though he's an asshole, it was quite entertaining. So then we see Miss Lisa and Karen. I thought it was a sweet moment when she brought out the photo album, and you know how Miss Lisa just talked to her about the blessing and the beautiful life that she's carrying excuse me, on the inside of her. I thought that was a really beautiful moment. I enjoyed it. And then, so Aaron comes. Aaron gets there early, of course, like I knew he would. He comes in, how you doing? What you been up to? I think he asked her like 3 questions. I was like, Aaron, come in, sit down, shut up, repeat, come in. It's okay to say, hi, how are you? Good to see you. Sit down and shut up. Don't be asking her all of these questions. Just be quiet. Now I'm going to dig in Miss Lisa's ass for a quick moment. The beautiful moment, it comes and it goes. She calls him preacher and accountant. Ma'am, his name is Aaron. Respect that man enough to call him by his God-given name, which is Aaron Carter. You ain't got to call him his last name, but damn it, his name is Aaron. So she sits down and she was about to get a drink. And so she was asking him, did he want, I think she asked him like, did he want something? He was like, no. And she was like, so you can have sex, but you can't drink. It's the ignorance for me. It's the ignorance for me. And it goes to show that Karen and Lisa do not communicate. She doesn't know what's really going on in her daughter's life. And it made me feel like I hate the narrative if you are in church, like you're this perfect being and you're not supposed to do certain things. I hate that narrative because being a Christian, being in church, having a title does not make you less susceptible to human error as anybody else. And I just hate that. And I'm like, if you would know, he's a recovering alcoholic. So no, that's him not drinking has absolutely nothing to do with his religious beliefs or his religious background. Is because he's an alcoholic. No, he cannot drink. I just hated that. Like, Miss Lisa rubs me the wrong way when it comes to Aaron, because I remember the first time they met, to me, she was just straight disrespectful. Your daughter is the person who decided to give this man a chance, knowing that he had this ex-wife at the time and all of the stuff, that all of the baggage that came along with him. So I don't like her approach all the time. I really didn't like her approach either when Zac came. Now, when Zac, came, he was on the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Because my thing is like, why does he have such animosity towards Aaron? Aaron held out his hand. Zac kind of just looked at him. I said, oh, I see what kind of meeting this is going to be. And it's interesting because Zac wants Karen to respect Fatima, leave her out of things that doesn't include her. And Karen should. There's no reason why Karen should ever disrespect Fatima, because Fatima has never done anything to her. Yet, Zac disrespects Aaron every opportunity that he gets. So something isn't adding up to me. Something in the milk ain't clean, as the old people say. I'm not understanding. Maybe it'll come out. Now, y'all know I'm pissed. Y'all know I'm mad. Because not damn letter was read. And nothing will be read until next week. I knew Tyler was going to do this. I knew it. I knew he was going to do that. But, I ain't going to lie. I agreed with Zac. When Zac was like, when Miss Lisa was saying, yeah, come get something to eat. I'm not hungry. Like, let's just talk. Come get something to eat. No. This is not the Last Supper. I did not come here to break bread with y'all. I came here to get an understanding and for me to go about my way. So I agreed with Zac on that level. I don't understand why we sitting here up here eating like we are one big happy family, because we're not. Now, this baby is mine. We can make the necessary changes. But until then, I just want to come. Let's talk this out so I can go home to my life, which Karen is not a part of anymore. So I'm just not a big fan of this, sit down and let Karen get all her thoughts out. But we'll see what happened next week. So Danni and Q, I honestly zoned out on this part. I don't know what happened. I know they talked about, she told him he wasn't going to make it because he was high and they test. I'm like, girl, you smoke like a damn chimney. If anybody wasn't going to have a job, if they actually tested, it would be you. Because we know Danni smoke all the time. And I really don't care about Alphabet and his appearance on the show. So Danni also sets up a meeting. I don't know his name yet. The guy she met at the airport. Danni comes off as a gold digger. And I hate that for her. Because she always acts like she don't have any money. When he was like, oh, where you want to go? It depends on how deep your pockets is. Girl, what, you 21 years old? You are a 36 grown-ass woman who is a supervisor at the airport. I'm going to need you to act like you got some damn... Just, even if you ain't got a savings, Danni, I know you got some money. I hate that narrative for Danni. It's annoying. And she's been the same way since season 1. She doesn't ever pay for anything. Her friends got to pay for her lunch. Like, it's... Anyway, off that. So, Andy meets Madam. And she meets Angela first. So, Angela is Fatima's friend from Fatima, who has been working in Andy's building the whole time. We ain't never seen this chick. But we see her make her sister's appearance last night. Angela is like a more matured Sabrina in a sense, and I use mature wisely. I mean loosely. So it is what it is. She's a beautiful woman. I love her energy though. Like, I really love when she's on the screen. Then we meet Madam. Andy meets Madam, and we'll see what happens. She tells Andy about, Madam, she may need a favor, and her favors are not cheap. I'm saying? They are expensive. And Andy was like, oh, yeah, I got money. She was like, it may not be money. And I said that when I did the review for the the preview, I was like, when it comes to favors or expensive, it may not be with money. For those of us who know Madam, Madam got money. Baby, she don't need your money. But when it comes for Andy to pay up that debt, Andy just better be ready. And, now that I think about it, I don't know how wise it is for Andy to get in bed with Madam. But I am happy to see Madam because that's my dog. And I just want to see how she shake things up because something needs to be shaken and stirred and rolled and pivoted on Sisters. So that was the review. I do not know if I got everything. Hope I did. If not, it's all right. But I will holler at y'all next time. So I will be coming back with the preview breakdown for the trailer for episode 6. Real quick, somebody asked me, someone asked me, did I feel bad for Andy? Hell no! That's my answer. Y'all have a blessed one. Until next time, y'all be safe out there. When